Silent Rebellion. In the bleak future where the shadow of a totalitarian regime loomed large, a group of brave rebels dared to challenge the oppressive system. In a society where free thought was stifled and individuality erased, the rebels sought refuge in a secret language that echoed through the corridors of resistance, a language built on the universal code of music. At the heart of this silent rebellion stood Maya, a young woman with a passion for music that burned brighter than the cold steel structures that surrounded her. In the dimly lit underground hideout, Maya gathered a diverse group of rebels, each carrying the weight of suppressed dreams and silenced voices. Their secret language was a symphony of notes and beats, an intricate melody that wove through their conversations, plans, and coded messages. A simple piano tune could mean gather tonight, and a crescendo of strings might signify beware of surveillance. The rebels communicated through this clandestine musical language, the key to their silent resistance. Maya, with her violin in hand, became the conductor of their rebellion. Underneath the dissonance of a society devoid of individuality, the rebels sought to create a harmony of dissent. They met in hidden corners of the city, huddled in the shadows to exchange musical messages that echoed the chords of their defiance. The regime, aware of the growing undercurrent of dissent, employed surveillance drones and advanced technology to monitor every aspect of citizens' lives. Yet, the rebels, driven by a thirst for freedom, outsmarted the watchful eyes that sought to extinguish their flickering flames of resistance. In the city's dark alleys and abandoned buildings, Maya and her comrades held secret concerts, not of grand orchestras, but of whispers and melodies that carried the notes of rebellion. Each performance served as a rallying cry, a call to those still yearning for the taste of individuality and the sweet freedom of unfiltered thought. As the rebels navigated the dangerous dance of their silent rebellion, Maya found herself decoding messages hidden in plain sight, in the lyrics of band songs, the rhythm of footsteps, and the tapping of fingers on a tabletop. The music that once brought solace now carried the weight of a revolution. Their silent rebellion gained momentum, spreading like a wildfire beneath the surface of the regimented society. The rebels, united by their yearning for freedom, became a force that the regime had not anticipated. Yet, the shadows of uncertainty lingered, and the path ahead remained uncertain. Maya, standing on the precipice of change, knew that the silent rebellion needed to evolve. The regime tightened its grip, deploying more surveillance measures, and the rebels faced the daunting task of staying one step ahead in their quest to restore individuality and freedom. The future hung in the balance, the chords of the silent rebellion echoing through the city like a haunting melody. The rebels, armed with their secret language and unwavering determination, faced a pivotal moment. The crescendo of their defiance awaited, and the final notes of their silent rebellion remained unwritten, ready to shape the destiny of a society yearning for the return of free thought and the resurgence of the human spirit. As the silent rebellion continued to echo through the oppressive corridors of the dystopian society in Maya, and the rebels faced increasing challenges. The regime, recognizing the threat posed by the clandestine language of music, intensified its efforts to dismantle the resistance. Surveillance tightened its grip, infiltrating even the most secluded corners of the city. The rebels, aware of the ever-watchful eyes, had to evolve their secret language. New codes were devised, and the rebels communicated through subtle variations in rhythm and pitch, transforming their silent rebellion into a mesmerizing symphony of defiance. Maya, determined to lead her comrades to victory, delved deeper into the heart of the musical rebellion. With each coded message, she orchestrated plans to dismantle the regime's infrastructure, one note at a time. The rebels, fueled by the shared dream of freedom, operated in the shadows, leaving traces of their resistance that only the musically attuned could decipher. As the silent rebellion grew bolder, the regime retaliated with swift and brutal crackdowns. The rebels faced arrests, interrogations, and the constant threat of discovery. The stakes had never been higher, and Maya grappled with the weight of leadership. She knew that their silent rebellion needed a crescendo, a defining moment that would resonate through the ages. In a clandestine meeting beneath the city, Maya gathered the rebels for a final performance. The air was charged with tension as they exchanged knowing glances. The time had come to unveil their grand symphony of resistance, a composition that would pierce through the oppressive silence. Maya, standing with her violin in hand, began to play. The melody, haunting and powerful, resonated through the underground hideout. The rebels, each contributing their unique instruments, be it a makeshift drum or a humble flute, joined in, creating a harmonious rebellion that echoed through the city's heart. The regime, caught off guard by the audacity of the rebels, scrambled to respond. As the symphony of defiance swelled, citizens who had long lived in fear began to awaken. Windows opened, doors unlocked, and faces once shrouded in anonymity peeked out into the moonlit night. In the climax of their silent rebellion, Maya and the rebels led the citizens in a rhythmic protest, their collective voices drowning out the oppressive silence that had gripped the city for far too long. The regime, realizing the power of unity, struggled to contain the uprising. The rebels, now an orchestra of freedom, marched through the city streets, breaking the chains of surveillance and censorship. The once dormant citizens, inspired by the rebels' courage, joined the march, transforming the silent rebellion into a loud and resounding call for liberty. As the crescendo of the rebellion reached its peak, the regime's hold began to crumble. The city, once imprisoned by silence, erupted into a cacophony of voices reclaiming their right to free thought. The rebels, Maya at the forefront, stood as symbols of resilience, orchestrating a symphony that shattered the oppressive regime. Yet, as the city embraced the newfound freedom, the rebels faced the uncertain aftermath of their victory. The silent rebellion, while victorious, left scars that ran deep. The regime, though weakened, lingered in the shadows, and the rebels knew that the fight for lasting freedom had only just begun. And so, as the symphony of resistance reverberated through the liberated city, the rebels stood united, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The future, once shrouded in silence, now held the promise of a society where the language of music would forever be a testament to the indomitable spirit of a people who refused to be silenced. The silent rebellion had reached its climactic finale, but the echoes of its music lingered, a reminder that the fight for freedom was a perpetual symphony, forever playing in the hearts of those who dared to defy the silence.